So I've been thinking about this recently, and everyone talks about your 20s like they're supposed to be the best years of your life. You're young, you've got freedom, you've got time, you can do whatever you want. At least that's what people say. But honestly, I think 20s are probably some of the most confusing years you'll ever go through because for the first time in your life, nobody really knows what you're doing. I am 23 this year, and to be honest, when you're a kid, everything is planned out. You go to school, you finish school, and you go to the next school, and then after that, maybe college, maybe university after. But there's always a next step. But but then one day, that just ends. Nobody hands you a list anymore. Nobody tells you what comes next, and suddenly you're supposed to just figure everything out yourself. That includes career, relationship, money, where you want to live, what you want to do, who you want to become. And the weird thing is, everybody pretends like they know what they're doing and they kind of have everything figured it out. I have a friend who once told me that life is like a ship and there has to be a destination you're heading towards, or else you're just kind of floating around the sea. And that kind of hit me because I thought that I was the only ship at the sea and everyone gets everything and then everyone got everything figured it out, just not me. Then I remembered looking at people my age and thinking like, damn, they've got it figured it out. And then you kind of talk to them and they're just as confused as you are, and they're kind of just better at hiding it. I think social media makes this even worse. You open Instagram for 5 minutes, one guy's getting married, another guy bought a house, a girl is traveling the world, another person started a business, and someone's driving a car that costs you more than your yearly salary. And meanwhile, you're sitting there wondering if you make the right decision, wondering if you're behind or if you screwed something up, or if everybody else got a secret guidebook of some sort that you somehow missed. And I don't think enough people talk about how normal that feeling is because life isn't school anymore. There isn't a correct answer, there isn't a correct path. You can do everything right and still end up somewhere completely different than you expected. Honestly, if you asked me a few years ago what I'd be doing today, I probably would have gotten it completely wrong. I think most people would as well. And that's another weird thing about your 20s. You kind of just realize how much can change in a really short amount of time. People you thought you'd known forever disappears, and people you barely knew became important. Your goals change, your interests change, your plans change, you change. And sometimes that's uncomfortable because we like certainty. We like knowing what's going to happen next. But your 20s are basically years of uncertainty. You're trying things, you're failing, starting over, trying again. And nobody likes talking about that part, and people love talking about their success. Nobody wants to talk about the months where nothing happened, the years where they felt lost, the times they questioned themselves, the moments where they thought they were falling behind everyone else. I think almost everyone goes through that, and some people are just louder about their wins. I don't know. Maybe that's why your 20s feel so confusing. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing something that nobody has done before. You're living your own life for the first time, and there's no map for that. Anyway, enough of me pretending like I've got my life figured out. I'll see you guys on the next one.